Hi everybody, Blayne Tyler, Finding Sasquatch, coming to you again from northeastern Ontario. Okay, so I'm just doing a little reenactment of a great story, report that happened May 1967 near the Dallas in Oregon. Group of young men, teenagers, were hitchhiking home and they had quite a startling Bigfoot encounter. So let's do some reenactment here.
Hitchhikers hunted by Sasquatch. Alright, this is an awesome story. It's in DeHinden's book and John Green's and maybe one of Peter Byrne's books. I don't have any of his books, so I can't confirm it. Anyway, the evening of May 1967, near the Dallas town of Oregon, a group of young men, 19-year-olds, were walking along, hitchhiking along, and they started being paralleled by something in the woods at the top of the bluff that ran adjacent to the road. So at first they're a little spooked, but they're talking and they think it's just perhaps kids or their buddies or whatever, and they keep stopping and the footsteps or whatever continue, and more rocks come down the side of the embankment, and the guys, Taylor and Churchill, and a couple of their buddies, they decide to investigate, because they, after a while, I guess they're getting a little perturbed. Yeah, the joke's enough is enough, right? So they're hiking along, and these sounds are happening, the footsteps and everything, and it's pretty creepy because it's at night and it's probably rough terrain up there, and the guys are playing around. They run. The Sasquatch, or the creature in the woods, runs when they run, stops when they stop, is silent when they're just standing there looking into the embankment, to the top of the embankment, and they're still thinking perhaps it's just kids goofing with them, but there's that underlying doubt that I don't think kids would be up there in the dark hiking on the uneven rough terrain like there, and on the hillside. So what they do is they cross over, or they get closer to the embankment, and they are hiking along, and there's a little embankment there on the right near Mount Hood, and they decide to investigate these vandals or whatever, possible other teenagers hoaxing them, right? And so they start up the hill, and then whatever's at the top of the hill comes walking down towards them, and they notice it's a lot bigger than the kids, and they run away into the field all scared and stuff. And I'm not going to win the Academy Award for that, but anyway, so this big creature, they notice that its eyes glow red. It smells rancid. They couldn't describe it to any other kind of smell, perhaps of a cow that's been dead for a few days. And they get back to the road, and they stay on the road, and they start hiking up. Now this is where it gets even creepy. There's a bend in the road up ahead, and a car coming along. And caught in the lights of the car coming along, they see another one of these creatures cross the road. So it's almost like the creature on the hillside, the embankment, is herding them towards the other creature. And there's an old shot just a couple years later of the area. So these guys get pretty scared at that point. There's this big creature following them and paralleling them, running when they run, stopping when they stop, staring at them for moments at a time, one time 30 seconds. And then they run to a motel and they get a ride in a pickup, and they go get their buddies, and they come back and investigate. Now this is a cool story, and I don't have Byrne's, any of his books, but he probably wrote about this. I know John Green mentioned it at some point, and Of course, it's from DeHinden's book. But this starts off a series of events where the boys return that night, and they, in a larger number, they go up the hill towards two creatures, and the creatures take off, leaving them far behind. So then the next night they come back and they're armed, and they go up at the hill again, and they're looking, and they only see one of the creatures at a distance. Now it gets really interesting. On the third night, they return and they get a lot closer to a couple of these creatures, and they shoot at one. Churchill shoots at one with his 12 gauge, and takes 2 shots, and it falls, and it gets up running, and it runs through a fence that's in the borders the field, rips 3 posts down at ground level, and continues to run. And at this time, the boys are pretty scared shitless that, you know, this thing just took 2 shots and had the power to get up and tear down a fence by running through it. So pretty awesome report. Also, this is followed by Churchill and Taylor going out on the roadways and watching these creatures cross from the river back across the road and up the hill. And this is what led to Peter Byrne setting up camp in that area. Anyway, pretty awesome story. Thanks for watching. Right, I almost forgot. They did find prints and a blood trail, but they were unable to catch up with the Sasquatch, and at times they could see a group of them, 5 at one time, on the other hills. Thanks for watching.